What if I told you one company quietly controls more money than the entire GDP of the United States? A company so powerful it has influence over governments, banks, and even the companies you use every single day. And the craziest part? Most people have never even heard of it. This is the hidden story of how BlackRock became the most powerful financial force in the world. When people think about power, they think of tech giants like Apple or Google. But the real power doesn't come from selling products, it comes from controlling money. And no one does that better than BlackRock. BlackRock isn't a bank, it doesn't make phones, it doesn't build cars. Instead, BlackRock manages money, a lot of money. As of today, BlackRock manages over $9 trillion in assets. To put that into perspective, that's more than the entire economies of most countries on Earth. It was founded in 1988 by Larry Fink, and its goal was simple: help institutions invest money smarter. But what started as a small investment firm quickly turned into something much bigger. Here's where things get interesting. BlackRock doesn't just manage money, it invests that money into companies. We're talking about shares in Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Tesla, and thousands more. This means BlackRock is one of the largest shareholders in many of the biggest companies in the world. It doesn't own them completely, but it owns enough to have influence. And influence is where the real power is. So how does this actually work? When you invest in a pension fund, mutual fund, or ETF, there's a good chance your money is being managed by BlackRock. One of their most powerful tools is something called ETFs, especially their iShares product. These funds allow millions of people to invest in entire markets with just one click. So when everyday Americans invest their savings, BlackRock decides where that money goes. That means which companies grow, which industries get funding, and which businesses struggle. This is not direct control, but it's massive influence over the global economy. Now here's where it gets even more powerful. BlackRock doesn't just influence companies, it also works closely with governments. During financial crises, including 2008 and even recent economic shocks, institutions like the Federal Reserve have turned to BlackRock for help. Why? Because BlackRock has one of the most advanced financial systems in the world, a platform called Aladdin. This system analyzes risk, markets, and trillions of dollars in assets. So when governments need to understand the economy, they often rely on BlackRock's data. Think about that for a second. A private company helping guide decisions that affect entire nations. Of course, this level of power comes with serious concerns. Critics argue that BlackRock has too much influence over the global economy, because when one company has stakes in almost everything, it raises big questions. Is there too much centralized power? Can it influence competition? And who is really in control? BlackRock says it simply manages money on behalf of its clients. But when you manage trillions, your decisions shape the world. As investing becomes more automated and more people put their money into funds instead of picking stocks, companies like BlackRock will only become more powerful. Because the more money they manage, the more influence they gain. And in a world driven by capital, control of money is control of everything. BlackRock may not be a household name, but it's one of the most important companies on the planet, quietly shaping markets, influencing governments, and controlling the flow of global money. And now you know the hidden power behind the world's economy.